The power of premium video is really anchored on its ability to be brand safe and quality. It starts with real people watching the content, but also other mechanisms. It's transparent in the way it's delivered. It has a quality viewing experience overall. It has brand safe content. And all of these things add up to allow it to be a performative media format, and has always been a performative media format. If you compare it to other formats like digital mobile, and you compare that to premium and CTV, premium CTV and TV overall does 2x better in driving brand recall.
So tell me about publishers and how they're supporting advertisers as TV viewing habits are changing.
TV viewer habits are certainly transforming, and that's a given. And it's creating a lot of complexity. When we look at fragmentation, a consumer can watch a piece of content on more than 400 different endpoints or places where they can receive that, whether that be an app, a device, and everything in between. And so that's hard. That's hard for publishers, and it's certainly hard for brands. And so one of the things that I think is fundamental to solving that problem is bringing standardization to the industry. And I look at standardization in a few different ways. One is the content standardization. Are there standard attributes that allow for the advertiser to understand where they're running in a highly transparent manner so that they can reach those audiences in a more effective way? I look at standardization in data and identity and the ability to deliver a standard way in which to define an audience. And now there are many companies working on that. FreeWheel's Identity Network has seen great results in bringing that standardization with 3 to 4 times better match rates than what we've seen in the competition.
So here in Cannes, we're hearing a lot about sports. Tell me, why is sports so critical to advertisers?
If you think about in the attention economy, it is probably the thing that is most engaging when we think about a consumer and fandom. It's always been a priority for FreeWheel as we work with major publishers that have invested a lot of money into making their franchises with these big leagues fundamental to their growth and fundamental to who they are. And so for FreeWheel, we've invested a lot of time as well and money in making sure that we can deliver the greatest results, the greatest experience for both brands and consumers as they start to transform the way in which they consume via streaming or CTV of these live events. And we've seen, just a really, with the advancements of technology, a lot more democratization of live sports comes into play. I'll give you an example. The Olympics this past year, we helped to enable it to be programmatically bought. It increased by 90% the number of brands that have participated in the Olympics. And that's a big, meaningful differentiation as we think about new brands coming into TV that have historically been relegated to social as far as their growth engine goes. And so we're really excited about the future because it is bright for live events and live sports.
There's also been a lot of talk about social media platforms and how it's easy for advertisers to reach targeted audiences with minimal friction, real-time data. How is FreeWheel making TV just as easy to buy and measure?
There's a few ways you have to look at that. One would be, how do major brands need the complexity to be simplified? And for that, I go back to that concept of standardization. Making things easier for them to spend a large amounts of money consistently to reach these mass audiences that only CTV and TV can provide in that quality environment. So that's the first thing. The second part of that is making it easy for new brands to enter into that arena. I think Universal Ads, which was launched earlier this year, is a great example of that. The industry coming together, the Paramounts, the Warner Brothers, the NBC, and many, many other brands coming together to make it easy to buy in aggregate the scale of what social platforms can provide. But that's not enough. It's not just enough to have that. The workflow that is inherent within social also had to be part of the equation. So Universal Ads brings both of those concepts together. The simplicity of how they want to buy, these new social brands that have grown up on social, and the ways and the workflows in which that transacts, as well as the scale that social provides with the coming together and collaboration of the premium streaming and CTV ecosystem.
How are data and technology changing the way advertisers are connecting TV ad exposure to consumers?
TV has always delivered full funnel results for brands and advertisers. Unfortunately, we have not told the best stories and articulated the power that it has. And not just from the narrative, but also from the real time and speed by which we illustrate real results, outcomes. I'm really excited about where the industry is going. And I'm also really interested in the fact that many brands in a recent research study that we just conducted said that 6 out of 10 advertisers said they would spend more money if they could tie ad exposure from TV and streaming to real results. And I think that's our opportunity, that's our call to action for the premium TV ecosystem.